It's an accident
There's
report.
several sheets. So this kind of goes over your information, where it happened, the police officer's information, other people's information. And it talks about the roadway conditions and so forth. There's a spot here for you to write down what occurred. And then if this space is not big enough for you to drive in or draw in what happened, then I've included several roadways that you guys can use to draw your pictures. And I don't expect you guys to draw like professionals, but I just want you to do your best. Be as descriptive as you can. So we've had a lot of things happen here recently, and I asked the driver to fill out the accident packet, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" So please make sure you have those. All right, so let's get going. Any questions before we start?
Where were you?
Huh?
Where were you?
What?
Where were you?
When?
Last week.
I was in Nashville, Tennessee,
Oh,
at an insurance week.
sure. No, you and your mom was there. Oh, just wondering.
All right. That's it. You turn it on. Okay, so we'll get right into our CSA score. We still have 2 alerts, one in unsafe driving and the other one in hours of service. So, not good. We're going to stay in this position for quite a while because I looked at the end where it drops off each month, and we're not losing any hours of service violations or any unsafe driving violations. So if we continue to get more of these, then it's just going to stay in. We're trending down just a hair, but we're going to still be above the threshold, which is the 65% for probably 2 more months. Here's our top violations. Again, failing to use your seatbelt, speeding 6 to 10, failure to obey traffic control device. That can either be the lane, which lane you're in, or blowing the scale house. The 11 to 14 and 15 over. And then speeding in a construction zone. So those 2, the 15 over and the construction zone, are huge, along with the handheld cell phone. So those are big points. Here's our crash indicator. We're trending up a little bit. We've got to, you guys, when you get into a sticky situation, please get out and look. It's not hard to get out and look. Okay? We have people who say all the time, "I thought I was clear. I thought I was okay." And yet they're taking out vehicles, they're taking out fences and gates. It's expensive. Our hours of service, we're trending up the wrong way. And where they're getting us is the false logs. We're getting a ton of the false logs because people are abusing their PC, and it causes false logs. So they're on you. I mean, it's super easy to catch you guys. It's all electronic. It's all marked by the ELD. There's no getting around it. So here we go. False record of duty status. 7 points. And down at the bottom, driving beyond the 11 hours, 7 points. And then false improper use of personal conveyance. So our vehicle maintenance, we're coming down. Actually, yeah, just a bit. What we need to, what you guys know what violation that you have control over that's in vehicle maintenance?
Load securement.
Load securement. Very good. Load securement's in vehicle maintenance. And so when you guys fail to secure your loads properly, or lose your load, or have a torn strap, or whatever, that causes the vehicle maintenance to go up.
When somebody has a brake fall out of their
Or
load.
if someone has a brake fall off the truck,
Yeah, brake fall off the truck, or we don't do our pre and post trip inspections. Then we go into a scale and we've got an air leak so bad that they can hear it, or we've got lights out, just things that are totally preventable. So they're not huge violations, but they add up. Real quick, trailer 34, WMT 34, which is a East trailer, has been stolen from us. It was taken out of Verco, LA. So if you guys see it, please let us know. It was pulled out by a company called
EG.
Huh?
EG.
EG Transport. And it's a California base plated truck. It's purple with white lettering. So just keep your eyes peeled for it.
They stole it when.
But they
when
knew
Napoleon-
they knew how to disconnect our tracking device on it before they left.
Oh.
So
Did you call them?
Huh?
Did you call the company?
No, we didn't call them because we don't want them dropping it in the middle of the field somewhere.
When that happened?
Virgo, Fontana.
No, but when?
Probably about
yeah,
a month ago.
yeah.
So it's probably
So
next to the line.
we don't know where it is, but just keep your eyes open.
Dang.
All right, so our driver fitness, again, this is with our wearing your glasses, your hearing aids, not operating outside the scope of your CDL. And we're actually coming down just a hair, but we need to come down quite a bit more. There's our violations. So driver operating CMV without a proper endorsement or violation of restrictions. So your restrictions are glasses and hearing aids, right? Or automatic transmission only. Generally, we don't make that mistake, huh? Yeah. What? So please wear your stuff. Peter.
What? I'm confused. Don't laugh at me, but where the hell do you need hearing aids for? You need to hear.
What?
You need to hear.
Yeah, you have to hear.
So
So
what
if
do
you, on your physical or on your driver's license, if you have a restriction, it says
Oh,
hearing
you
aids
got a
are required, then you got to wear them.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay? Here's our ISS score, still at 89. So if you wonder why our bypass isn't working very well, this is it. So it affects more than. So this is the biggest thing, guys. It affects more than just you. When you guys try to make that shortcut or think, hey, it won't happen to me, or I'm just going down the road, it affects more than just you. It affects the whole group. It affects the whole company. So I know you guys have a tough job. Your job sucks as far as I'm concerned. I would never want it. I've done it, never want it. With that being said, if you're going to do it to the best of your abilities. You guys are all have the ability to be just total rock stars out there. And some of you are just total rock stars. And others, you know, you take chances because it seems, I don't know why, but please don't do it no more. So our insurance company sends us this. This is very similar to what a scale house or a roadside inspector pulling up next to you, going down the road, they run our DOT number and this is what comes up. So right underneath the stoplight it says inspect. They want our trucks to be inspected. So I know Utah, going up through Utah, are they pulling you guys in every chance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't told her.
Yeah.
It's always those.
Yeah, so just be careful. So this, right at the top of this, it says this carrier has 17 severe violations cited in the past 36 months. And here they are. So how many of those are speeding?
All of them.
Over half, yeah. And what state do we get most of the speeding in?
California.
California. It's not a setup. How's it a setup when they post a big fucking sign that says 55? Is that a setup? A setup's when you post a sign that says 55 or 85 and then you set down the road with a pop-up sign. There's no setup, guys. You guys are 100% in control. International Road Check is May 17th through the 19th. They're focusing on wheel ends. So they're going to be looking at your hubs very closely. So if you have any sign of leakage, make sure you don't. I mean, this is a blitz that goes on every year, guys. And it's going to be a hard blitz. They will be looking at logs. They're going to be looking at everything. So through Arizona, it's up on I-40. So if you're running I-40, you're going to get probably blitzed into it. And they're going to be sticklers. So just be careful. Have your stuff right. 100% right if you're going to be rolling during that time. During the week of July 10th through the 16th, it's Operation Safe Driver Week. The feds are totally looking at speed. And what you know what's coming? So at the conference I was at in Nashville, they had a national ATA, I think he was co-vice president, he was the vice president of rules and regulations. And the big push by the feds is speed limiters. And they want them to be retrofitted on every vehicle. So right now they're pushing between 55 and 65 on trucks. And every time that there's a speeding violation, guess who it gives ammo to shut you guys down to a slower speed? So that's what's coming, fellas. I found this is one of you guys I know during your qualification drive with Mike.
God damn it to fucking hell. Fuck! Come on, Dan. God damn it! Just stop. Fuck! Complete stop. Now roll back the door. I'm trying not to. God damn it! Fucking hell! Hey, keep your foot on the brake. Start the show. Okay, put it in first gear. Real slow. Okay. Come on, bitch. Should we raise that stuff? Probably. Come on, bitch. Well, I'll tell you what, I've never met anybody who had so many trucker friends so fast. All these guys are going to know who you are. Trial went to a school, you bunch of pussies. Maybe you should jump. Fuck that. I hate this shit. I'm doing great.
Damn!
What did he keep looking at? Did anybody see that?
That.
He was staring at the tack every time he shifted gears. All right. Now for you guys. Your dad wants this. All right, so what do we have in the middle of this roadway? Solid double yellows, right? Which mean what?
Don't pass.
No pass.
Definitely don't pass.
What do you think he's doing?
Hot damn.
Now, look at the speed limit, 65. We're in California, right? Yeah, we're in California on the 95, right?
Is that 90? What 95? What
Is it well, what's the one that runs up from Parker?
Oh, yeah.
40?
95, right?
95.
That 95, Zachariah. That one.
Up by Searchlight? Out there, south of Searchlight. Going from
What's the Y?
Vidal Junction.
Vidal Junction north up to 40.
Oh.
Alright, so let's not pass in no passing zones. And here he's at 70. What's the actual speed limit for trucks? What is it?
55.
55. Very good. Hey, this is a good one. So here we have an accident on the side of the road, and this big truck upset somebody. So he gets over as soon as he can. Everybody's got to make it through there, right?
Yeah.
But there's somebody that's not happy.
Oops.
My God.
No.
But John, you get that all the time, man.
Should be.
You're trying to get around somebody. I mean, yeah.
Especially when you're loaded.
I mean, these guys.
Oh, hey, listen, I sympathize with you 100%. The mere fact that it happens to you guys should be aware of it. It's just part of the problem that's out there today. I mean, so you've got to drive defensively so that if somebody whips over like that, you should already be on the binders or switching lanes again. You know, it's a hard thing to do. You guys work in a terrible industry.
But I'm talking about the cops. We're doing something. They think we cut them off when we're doing something else.
Yeah.
Well, that's
We
We're
can't.
idiots.
That's the one.
That's the reason you're supposed to be like trying to keep an eye on stuff and how people are driving, because you can see somebody coming up behind you and tell that they're not rational. You know, I mean, they're cutting in and out of traffic, driving like a nut, and it's coming down to an end. They're going to get pissed off at you for being there.
Yep. I just smile at them now. I was doing this back at it. I'm like, have a nice day.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys, keep it down. All right. So this one, I want you guys. Who knows how to figure out when a blowout's going to occur?
When the hood starts to shake.
Yes, when the hood starts shaking. If you start shaking, something's wrong. Reduce your speed. Don't jam on your brakes, but reduce your speed. So you'll see this is a nice little trip down the road. Watch the hood. Oh, that looks like Vermilion Cliffs, doesn't it?
Looks like towards
It's on the way to Vermilion.
Yeah, Vermilion.
Yeah.
That's 89.
Yeah, it's 89 north of.
Yeah. The hood's already starting to shake. Look at it.
There we go. There we go.
Starting to shake.
Shake, shake.
Look, he's not even off the gas.
Oh, did you see the tires?
Look at that.
And what did it do?
What?
So it pulled him to the left real fast. Had you had a line of cars coming, and you're starting to shake, and you're not getting off the throttle, and it sucks you into the cars. Now you're talking big impacts.
Bad day.
Bad that day.
Made the driver.
All right, here's another one. I wish it was harder for me to find these videos.
Me too.
This one is very interesting to me. You guys decide what happens here.
You're sleeping already? You're sleeping before we get up to the truck stop?
Yeah.
Wow. What the hell?
Why?
What the?
I would attribute it to sleep, being super tired.
You're there on the phone, I think.
What a hard time on the phone?
Even on the phone, you should be paying attention to that. All right, so this one gives it away who drives this truck. So that's the unfortunate part about driving unique trucks.
A certain color?
Yeah. So, but this is preventable.
This is to make sure you know what you're doing there.
Damn.
Give me a push.
The truck.
can't push.
So you put that Tahoe stall. Can't jump, push dirt.
And then when you hop curbs like this, what does that do to your tires?
Tears them up.
All right, here's another one. So this goes back to the same thing we were talking about.
What the hell are you doing?
It's like,
I
don't know.
On the shoulder.
but this guy got on the binders right away, so I applaud him. This one scares the hell out of me.
Whoa.
So when we have a fatal, if we have a fatal anytime soon, they will come in and they're going to crawl up everybody's butt. And they're going to be using a microscope when we're in there. All right, so this one. He's driving down the road. As he's driving down the road, pretty soon you're going to see two birds fly in front of him. Birds always usually fly in a flock of threes or better.
Yeah.
So where's three? Where's number three?
This is great.
I think it happens right after this green sign.
Man, did you get the whole drive?
Okay, so there goes the two birds.
First strike pocket.
So really, there's nothing you can do about that, guys.
That third.
That's like a dang deer or whatever running out in front of you. If you hit a horse,
Keep driving.
keep driving. I don't give a shit.
Why?
Horses,
Horse.
you hit a horse, especially on a reservation, and that was a prize-winning thoroughbred that was going to race for the whatever cup it is that they go out.
To the cattle. You get the cattle, they want to do it first.
Yeah, Arizona's an open range, so if we hit an animal, it's our fault.
You got a horse, but you're not going very far, right?
You hit a horse, you limp that son of a bitch as far as you can. All right, here we go.
I'll keep going, shoot.
Here we go, guys.
Playing with their phone, not paying attention.
How close are we?
Too close.
Too close.
Yeah.
Yeah, 58 miles per hour, it should be bad.
How many feet are in between those two?
I'd say about 20. About 30.
Maybe, yeah, maybe 20 or 30. So at 58 miles an hour, how many feet per second are you guys traveling?
800 seconds.
85 feet per second. You know what your average reaction time is? 3/4 of a second for your brain to process, oops, I got to do something. And then it's another 3/4 of a second to actually actuate the brakes. So you're a minute and a half. If that guy dynamites his brakes for some reason, what's going to happen? Yeah, he's going to get shoved forward real hard. All right. Hey, so one thing that happened here recently is that somebody got out of their truck, and I don't know how, but they have injured their ankle very badly. So, what's the best way in and out of your trucks?
3-point contact.
Hello everyone, it's Evan from Winters Driver School, and I want to talk to you about a topic on how to enter and exit your CDL vehicle. Sounds pretty simple, but there is a proper way to do it. And it's for your safety, and also, it can cost you points on the CDL test. Sounds pretty crazy. We've had one student in the past actually fail the test because the examiner repeatedly told him how to enter and exit the vehicle and properly, and he wasn't following directions. So make sure you're doing this properly. I'm going to go by the step-by-step procedure and actually show you outside how to actually properly do it. It's pretty simple, but I want to give you a visual representation of how to do it so you can't mess up at all. So when it comes to actually entering and exit a vehicle, the most important thing to remember is that you have to have 3 points of contact. What that means is you have to have either 2 hands and 1 foot on the vehicle, or 2 feet and 1 hand on the vehicle when you're entering and exiting. Also, you want to enter and exit the vehicle, your body wants to be facing the vehicle, and your backside has to be facing away from the vehicle. That's how you properly enter and exit the vehicle. So right now, I'm going to show you outside on our tractor trailer how you actually properly enter and exit the vehicle.
See if you guys can figure it out.
Alrighty, now I'm going to go over how to enter and exit the vehicle properly. Like I said, this will cost you points on your test, so make sure you pay attention. Okay, so now the first thing you're going to do is open the door. Pretty simple. The next thing you remember is 3 points of contact. Either 2 feet, 1 hand on the vehicle, or 2 hands and 1 foot on the vehicle at all times. It's to ensure safety. Again, this is just a minimum. It's very simple. We're going to put 1 hand, 1 foot, another hand, and you're going to take a step up. Now you can take 2 feet, 1 hand, you can take 1 hand off, and move up to the steering wheel. And constantly get in, and that's how you get in properly. Pretty simple. You take 1 out, hand right here on the steering wheel, hand on the grip, 1 foot down, make sure you're facing the actual tractor, and take your step down. Pretty simple, guys. But people have done this before, not done it properly, and they've got points taken off of the test. Don't be that person, do it properly. Okay?
Really? Well, we've actually had somebody else who fell and broke a hip once.
Broke a hip. We had another guy break his elbow. Or no, he tore it. Tore a big old gouging hole.
Where they go out, facing out along their base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so always try to have your 3 points of contact. Especially during the wintertime, everything gets slick. Know what you're stepping down to. So that you know where you're stepping. So, this is what happened. This report came to us. I data queued it. So data queuing is where I challenge the roadside officer. I write in a dispute and I send in my evidence that shows he's wrong, and I try to fight for you guys to keep this stupid stuff off your record. So you can see after it was all done, the status after response closed, no data correction made. So this is what the officer said back to me. The driver was clearly furthering his trip by traveling 77 miles closer to the destination in personal conveyance. The shipment was loaded in Rancho Cucamonga and, with a destination of Phoenix. PC was claimed from Rancho Cucamonga East I-10 to his residence in Cathedral City. Upon leaving Cathedral City, the driver continued east 210 to the Ehrenberg Port of Entry. This movement serves to enhance the operational readiness of the motor carrier. So if we're serving to enhance the operational readiness, we can't do it. So then he goes on. He just rips me a new ass on this, and it pisses me off to no end. I don't like to lose. I hate to lose with a passion. He goes on. A driver may not extend driving time through personal conveyance. The driver is responsible for proper planning. This is consistent with previous FMCSA guidance, which notes that it's general knowledge that rest areas have become increasingly crowded for commercial motor vehicle parking. Thus, it is incumbent on a driver to look for a parking spot before the last few minutes of driving period. What he's saying is, before you run out of time, you've got to know where you're going to park. You can't just run up to your 11th hour or up to your 14th hour while you're on the road and go, okay, now where am I going to go? So everything he says is in here is absolutely correct. Down towards the bottom it says personal conveyance is those times where a driver is operating solely for a non-business purpose and cannot be used to extend the duty day. Here's the driver's log. So, at the top, He's in sleeper berth, right? 7 something, so 4 hours. Then all of a sudden he decides, I need to head down the road. So he goes into PC. Then he stays in the sleeper berth until he gets to, what is it, 5:45 in the morning? He goes on duty and then takes off. So, do you guys see on the side where it says the location? 1 mile southwest, Rancho Cucamonga Steering Corporation. There's his trip. And how do you get to Phoenix from there? Same line, right?
Well, why did he do that? Because he lives there.
He lives there.
If he would have waited a couple of hours to look at his log, he could have gone back on duty and had enough time. But he needed to wait.
Oh, he live over there?
Yeah.
Oh.
So if he would have waited a couple hours, he could have gone back on duty and driven.
Oh.
But that would have screwed him up for one time he wanted to get up in the morning. And I understand that. And that's kind of one of the reasons why the challenge, because he's going home. It wasn't like he was just driving somewhere. You know, I mean, it'd be really hard not to do that. I mean, if it was me, I'd have a really hard time going, well, I live right there, you know, but I'm stuck over here at Rancho Cucamonga, you know, but he would have waited a couple hours, he could have driven home.
The other thing is, guys, is that Mark's driving to a safe haven. Where was he parked for 4 hours? Wasn't that safe where he was parked? Good enough for 4 hours. You're gonna stay. If law enforcement comes and tells you to move, you need to get the officer's name and badge number and the agency that they work for. Okay? It's about protecting yourself and ours. What's the other problem? 70. How far did he go? 70.
77.
What's our limit? 50. Is that to be used every day?
No.
No. Very good.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if you're gonna use PC, right? Like, let's just say you're gonna use it. Not shit. Say you don't. If like you come up to like your 10-hour, you're at like your 10-hour driving limit, right? And you start hitting every truck stop on the way down, right? And going, you know, pulling in, looking around, hitting another one, pulling in, looking around. And let's say you're coming down from Utah through 89, right? And you hit Little America, happen to be full. You hit the next rest area, happen to be closed. You hit the next rest area, happen to be full. You get to Sunset Point, it's full, right? And you have nowhere to park, right? By the time you hit New River, it's 11 hours. And you just go to PC, and then your justification is, I hit everything from fucking Flagstaff all the way down.
You're going to be hard to get justified on that. Because I'll tell you, the way they think is they'll say, well, you don't have to sleep at a rest area. You don't have to sleep there. You could have gone off to find a Walmart or something else. Yeah.
I mean, well, I was just wondering.
I'm just telling you the way that the officer's going to think about that.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Because 99.99% of them have never driven a truck.
Right, well, because like, you know what I mean, like, there's, on, like, William 17, for example, there's a lot of off-ramps with giant white spots, right? But you pull up an off-ramp, now now he wakes you up 5 hours into your break, and he's like, hey, what are you doing parked here? Well, I did everything on the way down, and there was nothing, this is the only place I could find a park. He's like, no, here's your ticket, have a nice day, you gotta get off my ramp. You know what I mean?
I just won one of those.
Oh, really? Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's the reason you guys send emails on the computer to not use the PC no more?
Yeah, that's the reason.
He gets pulled over for it right now.
It's the easiest thing to find.
It's really hard to show. It's really hard to show that you're PC. That's not for furthering the road.
Unless you go to
But remember, every time you guys use PC, what does it do? It shows your locations every single time. We're going to go over this. But you guys, this is something that you've got to get good with, because ELDs aren't going away. They're only going to get better. And the better they get, the more they're going to tell on you. So, the purpose of what is the purpose of moving your CMV? This is all about personal conveyance. If the reason for the move is purely personal, rather than for the benefit of the motor carrier, then subject to the limitations listed below, it falls under the scope of personal conveyance. So is the driver free to pursue activities of his or her own choosing while behind the wheel? If so, it's personal conveyance. To further clarify personal conveyance, the federal government provides drivers with several examples of appropriate use of personal conveyance. So from temporary lodging to a restaurant. So temporary lodging, if you get a hotel room, you're doing your 34, and you don't want to eat the hotel food, you want to go get a steak at Outback or Texas Roadhouse or whatever, you can use your truck to PC over there and PC back. Now when you shut your truck off, what happens with your PC?
It goes off.
It gets turned off, right? So when you get back in to go back, you got to reapply your PC, the reason, and then you can move. Between home and work, this is for a local driver. A driver's journey back and forth between their home terminal and their residence, between trailer drop lots and their residence, and between work sites and their residence, all count as personal conveyance with the following caveat. The commuting distance and time must be short enough to allow the driver to get the proper rest. Traveling to a nearby safe location to rest after loading or unloading. So this is if they run you out of hours while you're there. Then you can use PC, even if it's in the same direction as your load's going, to find a safe place to rest. But that's only when they run you out. If you leave there with 10 minutes, you're going to screw yourself.
We had somebody here the other day that used PC while in a facility, and this, when it shows the officer, when they look at it, it shows them where you are. And he was in line at a scale. So, to weigh in. So he's there, he's in PC for like 45 minutes, so he's running up the scale, it's a long line. Well, they kept him there, right? Just he stayed in off duty the whole time he was there. But if he would have just done that on a yard move, he could have still left and made it to where he was going. But he used PC in there. So if somebody sees that, they're like, oh, what were you PCing for inside of this business? What were you doing in there? We had one other day. It was somebody said they were going for a meal, and it was, I can't remember.
Well, it's coming.
Oh, okay, never mind. That was like, never mind. That's not.
I do have a question about the meal thing though.
Yeah.
So if you get unloaded, let's say you get unloaded at San Bernardino, 10:30 at night, right? Right. Because they'll unload you at 10:30, and you're completely out of hours there. And you got to go down to like Best in the morning, right? You're completely out of hours. And there's a badass taco shop that's open till 3 o'clock in the morning, right by Best. Can I say I'm going to get food and like haul out there and Los Angeles? I mean, I'm going to get food for real.
First off, your truck should not be in California.
No, I'm not saying me, but I'm just saying there's other people that know about the restaurant down there.
Yeah.
And what do you got a receipt for? Like, there's a legit restaurant with a receipt. I don't think you can get it 3 o'clock in the morning.
How far is it?
What? How far is it? It's like 2 miles from Best, and it's only like 43 miles from like San Bernardino.
Okay, but what you're going to run into is this. Was that the closest location for you to get rest? That's what it says. That's what
I wasn't getting rest, I was getting food.
No, it doesn't matter. So was that the closest place to get food?
I mean, I really like it.
I'm telling you, David, this is what a cop's going to tell you. Is that the closest place? Because I can bring it up on a map.
Yeah, no, I get you, but I was just wondering.
That's what they're going to say. Cops have no sympathy for your plight.
Alright, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
So you can only go to the closest place to eat.
Closest place to eat, closest place to rest.
What if you hate McDonald's? You want to put that in a box?
Well, there's always Uber, right?
So what happens when you're...
Hey guys, keep it down so you can hear the questions that everybody asks that you get the proper answer to.
So what happens if you're coming from Oakland
and you have enough time to make it to a truck stop out on the 5,
Uh-huh.
and you break down on the freeways around there, and then by the time it gets repaired, you're half hours. You can't really park,
On the freeway, no, California won't let you park on the on the freeway or on any ramp.
but the closest place to find parking would be the I-5. So what do you do?
You've got to put it in your notes. So, a lot, who puts good notes in your PC?
You do.
You can.
Yeah, I know I
Yeah, but
can.
here's the thing. So we've had a very similar situation. Very similar situation to that. But instead of PCing to a truck stop that was 15 miles away, the driver PC'd to the truck stop that they wanted to, that was 70 miles away. So because there are truck stops over there, that's where they should have gone, rather than going on to where they wanted to go, which yes, it screws up your day, but you had a breakdown and your day is now screwed. Just put that in your head. Your timeline's blown. It's not. You're never going to get it back. You know, it's like when you leave late, you never catch up ever.
So you're saying you can use PC time?
So that was my question.
Get
You can
to
use
the nearest.
to the
place.
nearest parking area.
Yeah.
You can use that.
Because it's illegal for you to be on the freeway.
Yeah.
Unless you broke down.
Yeah.
So it's just like running out of hours at a shipper or receiver. You're still able to go to the closest place.
Okay, no, that's.
Let me give you guys another thing. Don't ever call me if you need your transmission rebuilt, if you need a tire changed, air hoses replaced. Okay? Don't ever call me for that. Unless you cannot get a hold of anybody else. The same goes with Scott. He doesn't know the fucking law. Okay? And he tells you guys what you want to hear. Not mainly you guys, but guys that call him. He'll tell you what you want to hear, but it's burning our ass to the ground on this. There's a reason I sit in that office. There's a reason that Scott sits in that office. There's a reason that Mike sits in his office. We each have our own job to do, and we are experts at it.
Can I call you? You.
For what?
Nobody else. You. When the cops say you can move your truck because you don't have no arm, make him understand that I need a PC, maybe 30 miles, maybe 25 miles, maybe. Make him understand that I need to move the truck 20, 30 miles to the nearest stop.
Why is he putting you out?
Huh?
What do you mean he's putting you out?
Well, the cops, they never understand that.
Yeah, you can call me. Anytime you're stopped by law enforcement, you
Because
can
I
call
want
me.
to know, the reason I want to call you to make him understand what I'm going to do.
Mhm.
30 miles, 25 miles to the nearest stop. He don't let me move. No, you can move. You stay here. Write me a ticket or whatever. I
Yeah,
need to
call
go.
me. Yeah, that's what I'm here for, Francisco.
Okay.
I'm here to fight for you guys.
Okay, because that happened.
Why
I stopped, and he don't want to let me go out the ramp. I in the ramp to go out the ramp.
Did he write you a ticket first?
Well, he don't write me a ticket. But he keeps me there, wasting my time, wasting the time and running in the.
Well, is he doing a DOT check?
Huh?
Is he doing a DOT check?
Yeah, he don't want nothing.
Alright.
So another cop coming in and I explain him. He understand. Okay, go. I jump and I park. Well, the first one, he tried to be smart with me.
Well, there's different levels. Remember, just like in this room with you guys as truck drivers, there's different levels of capabilities. Okay? So some guys have been driving a long time and they do really well at everything. Other guys are brand new and they're still learning. Same thing goes with cops. The only one thing I'll tell you is that cops have a survivor. And so you don't want to get into a pecker swinging contest because they are trained to win.
To make my life miserable.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just being honest with you. 100% honest.
Hey,
Chris.
it's not all that. No, they're not. But just don't pull your phone out because they'll shoot you. Oh, I thought it was a gun.
Oh my God.
That's the truth. Stop.
Yeah. Where did he end up going to load? Oh, a tenth of a mile?
Right.
That's furthering his load.
And that's why I asked that.
That's why. They will look because we read it in that guy's commentary back to me.
I understand.
I mean, they're gonna tear you up.
No, but even if you live, like say if you go to CFC If you're at a CMC, right, and say you come to the yard, and then you want a PC from the yard to your house, and you live up on the 303, and your load's going to Utah, your PC from the yard to your house on the 303 is not a legit PC.
Nope.
Because you're furthering the load. Because you.
Yeah.
So everybody that PCs to the 303 that goes to Utah.
Hey, you know what? The answer? No use GPC. Close your eyes and drive. UPC or PCE or whatever. Don't use PCP. Don't use PCP.
That's right. Don't use, if you guys take anything out of this meeting, we don't use PCP.
I'll agree with that one.
Wait. Chris has a question.
So using PC, I use it for and everybody knows that. You go in 10 miles toward the destination, then you go 10 miles out of the way. Is that legal?
You need to stop it.
Well, like when we were trying to figure out who ghost drove that truck, and it was you. I'm like, why is this guy goes to EOS Fitness?
No, that's not EOS.
What was it?
It's LA.
Oh, it was LA Fitness?
Yeah.
It's Florida. Sorry.
Are they?
Sorry.
Are they?
And then he goes from there to an apartment complex, and then he comes back. And so we're trying to figure out who's driving our damn truck, and we're watching all the cameras as they're coming in, and we're going from this camera to that camera. You know what gave Chris away? His dog. His dog got out, and the mechanic's like, I know that guy. That's that freaking guy. So that's how we caught it. When you guys use a truck, any truck that requires an ELD, we have to account for those miles. When FMCSA auditors or DPS's auditors come walking in, first things they ask for, I want to see 6 months of PC use by your drivers. I want to see unidentified miles by all vehicles. And I want to see all of your ELD log violations. First three things, before they even tell us who they're going to audit in our group. During PC. And if so, what's the duty status? So if you're on your 34-hour break and you're PCing around, and somebody pulls you over and wants to do it at level 1 or level 2 or level 3, guess what duty status you got to go on to? What happens to your 34? Recaps there. Yeah, that's what you're going to be left with. So just remember this. All right, so right side of the screen, where are we?
Right here.
Here. White Mountain Trucking, right? And then where's he going to PC to? A movie. Where does he go to? CMC Steel.
He put movie?
Yeah. It's news to me. Did you guys been holding out on me? They show movies out there? Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what the police see, guys.
There's a theater on the way.
Huh?
There's a movie theater on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, but did he stop at it? Did he stop at it? There you go.
Movie. That's a good one.
White Mountain to CMC Steel.
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, this is the other issue we continually have. May a driver record sleeper berth time as off-duty time on line 1 of the record of duty status. What's it say?
Yes.
No. You have to put yourself in the sleeper berth. When you're in the sleeper berth, you're in sleeper berth. When you're off duty, you're off. So when you're in the truck stop showering, watching TV, eating a meal, that's off duty. When you crawl in the bunk, you got to change to sleeper. Okay? No more of these long off duties while you guys are out for the whole time.
When you're doing a sleeper split, you have to do a 10-hour sleeper, correct?
Well, you're doing a sleeper what? Split sleeper is either 7 hours in the sleeper or 8 hours in the sleeper.
But you have to do sleeper down.
It won't work, yeah. Here we go. I think I'd beat the shit out of this person on Vans. When a driver is relieved from all responsibility, we've gone over this. So, on-duty time means all time you're working, servicing the truck, putting fuel in the truck, loading, unloading, taking it to a truck wash. That's on-duty time. Now, if you park your truck and you get out and they run it through for you, that can be off duty. All time loading, unloading, time repairing, obtaining assistance, or remaining in attendance upon a disabled commercial motor vehicle. So they have an interpretation on number 6 where if you're waiting, you can wait in the sleeper. All time spent providing a breath sample, so all your drug tests, that's on duty time. Performing any other work in the capacity or employ or service of a motor carrier, and performing any compensated work for a person that is not a motor carrier. So if you moonlight on the side as a male stripper somewhere, you guys got to put that on your log. Okay? Huh? I know.
I was going to say it was remaining.
So listen. So where it says graft grid preparation off duty, except for the time resting in a sleeper berth, a continuous line is to be drawn between the times that you're relieved from all work. Sleeper berth is when you're in the sleeper berth. Driving is when you're at the driving controls of a commercial motor vehicle. And on duty not driving is when you're doing all the other stuff. So this is a problem we're having out at CMC. Preloaded trailers, they're loading them to where they put too many of these spaghetti bundles on the bottom. And can you see the tail lights? Can you see the turn signal? So on a trailer, what will put you out of service? You can't see the turn signals. So he could stay in service if you can see the brake light on the left side. But if you can't see that, then you got to have at least one operating brake light to stay out of service. You're still in violation. But the right side where you can't see a turn signal, you're out of service immediately. And to fix this on the side of the road, we're calling out a heavy wrecker at about $280 an hour. Portal to portal. It means from the place he starts, comes out and helps us, and goes back.
You gotta get CMC to fix that for you.
Well, we are. So I've been out there and I've talked to Patrick. That is your daddy's truck. He loads like that.
Oh, you're First of all, your balance anyway, the flag is supposed to be at the end of the rebar, not underneath of it.
It's supposed to be at the end and at the extreme sides, guys. So we tried to pull it together with a 4-inch ratcheting strap. That didn't work. Nothing was working that day. So you got to go back in. When you guys pull underneath for these live loads on these spaghetti loads, you know how many bundles you're getting. If you're getting 16 bundles, how many bundles should be on the bottom? 8 and 8, right? They're putting like 12 to 14 on the bottom and the rest on top. Because they don't have to drive it down the road. The unfortunate thing is sometimes this is your preload. And so you got to call them out there and tell them, hey, take it back in and fix
All the
it.
time we gotta do that.
I know, and I'm sorry. I try to work with them. But Patrick burns me by saying guys will pull underneath and they'll get loaded like this and then they pull out. And I hear, well, we can't get out of the truck. We can't tell them anything. When you pull underneath, you tell them, hey, how many bundles am I getting? You're getting 16. 8 on the bottom, 8 on the top. If they don't do that for you, you call me immediately.
Well, then don't let us go down in there.
Hey,
You go down in there in your cab, right? You're in your truck, right?
Oh, yeah, but we can see nothing in the backside right there.
Yeah, but you tell them, I want it loaded like this.
When you come on, when you
You're
get
the
your
captain.
paperwork,
I gotta
tell
go.
them, ask them how
Shouldn't
many
you got
bundles.
that strap farther towards the end and sucked it in better?
No, because you're still not going to be able to see the light.
I've had many of those.
Gene,
As far as the dunnage on there, probably that could have used at least like 2 or 4 more pieces to stick it
Yep.
up higher. And then it's not centered, it's off to the right.
yep.
So
They do lousy work.
that, like you said, 8.
So you guys, listen, you guys are the captain, man. When you go out there to pick something up, Kelly tells you what you're going to get, right? So if she tells you you're getting this spaghetti crap going to the freeway job, when you get out to CMC, they have unlimited bundles of 4x4s out there.
They only give us 10 though. We just and they pull it out. You gotta throw a chain on it. You gotta get it like a bar and slide it through.
So that's why you should, we'll get to that too. So when you get out there, build it up where you need to build it up to. If they start haggling with you over how many 4x4s you're picking up, I mean, don't you guys ever keep 4x4s on your truck?
No.
They take it away from me. I put everything straight in the trailer, and when they load it, they take a couple.
Right, but you have the ability to load it tall out there at CMC. And if they argue with you over that,
The supervisor coming and hey, you have enough.
tell them I brought some of these.
Yeah, they give you
Well,
10
most
there.
of
Yeah, say, hey, I had 8 of these on my truck.
10 plus yours.
They're not gonna know.
most of them
I would just build it back.
Well, no, they're liable in the audience. Yes.
We're talking about, these guys are talking about the line load. We're talking about the preload.
Preloads?
Preload, hold up. My turn. They do this in the evening. I mean, it is my turn. They do this in the evening, so it's ready in the morning. Those guys that work at night, they just throw it in on there. 3 times last week, I had to call them, bring the forklift, and 2 of them, the 4x was sticking on the side. That was off. It goes to show you, they're just throwing anything on there, and they're all just talking.
Yeah.
I'm not even paying attention to what they're doing.
I would make sure that you do that there rather than try to bring it back here.
No,
We call them and talk to them all the time.
I do it there. I go back in the office. I go, you guys,
Until
I need a forklift again.
it's a pain in their ass, they're not gonna.
That's what I'm doing.
Because it's very-
I don't care if they get mad at me.
No, when I go out there, if I have a 3 to 60 footers, I can haul 60.
When they do that, you gotta call them. Hey, so listen, Mario says sometimes when you go back down there to get it fixed, they say it's not my problem. Call me.
Yeah.
Call me so I can tell Patrick exactly what's going on. I want to be able to have Patrick figure this one out.
You remember I sent you a picture the other day like
Yes,
that?
sir. No, I know. That's why we're here talking about this, is because we've got to get it right. Because we had somebody, and I can't remember who it was, they're going down the road like this, and I called them, and I'm like, hey, where you at? Oh, I just passed the yard. Like, we turn around. So we used the forklifts and shoved and pushed and did all sorts of crazy stuff to try to get it to where the lights can be seen. But the time to fix it is when you're at CMC. The more of a pain you are in their butt, the more they're going to get on their vehicle.
Hey,
And it's sad that we have to do that. But CMC is our bread and butter, guys.
when you talk to the guy over there, whatever, the supervisor told us, hey, let the drivers go and check it out before they go out to the crane.
You can't get out
They
from
can
underneath.
fix it now.
You can't. It's against OSHA law.
Yeah, I know. We have the hair, we have the.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
haven't
you can.
been, listen, you haven't been trained to work under a crane.
Well, hold on. Yeah, you can. Wait. Yeah, you can. Before they start, they'll go back there, show them, and tell what you want. That's when you can tell them. Then they tell you, get back in the truck, and then they bring the crane over. But
Yeah, so the
can.
crane's in a neutral position.
Yes.
All right, so there we go. There's another angle. There's another angle.
It's off to one side.
Who's that sexy guy right there? George. That's Chavo. All right.
I was there though.
At any time, day or night, does not have at least one operative stamp lamp on the rear of a single unit or combination of vehicles visible from that far. So that's the tail light. Does not have operating turn signal visible on each side of the rear of the single unit. So you got to have a turn signal on the rear of the rearmost unit. Otherwise, you're out of service. And that's day or night. If we put the rebar on top of this, it says that our load securement has to be adjustable. So if you crush this board, how are you going to adjust that? So let's stop doing that, okay? And let's start doing this. Because then it's adjustable, right? Or a little bit more accessible. So put it to the side. This person, nice job. Cross chained in the front, tier strapped all the way throughout, edge protectors, great freaking job.
Good job, Juan.
That was Lalo.
So this is last year's numbers. 4,136 vehicles taken out of service. Not inspected, taken out of service during road check, which is coming up next month. Cargo securement is the 5th most common out of service violation. 12.3% of out of service from cargo securement. So when your straps start to get torn, 4-inch strap, does anybody know how big of an intrusion you're allowed? 3/4 of an inch. and it's additive. So if you have half an inch on one side and a half an inch on the other side, that's an inch. If everything's on one side, your biggest thing going in is only a half an inch, you're still good. But we have enough straps to wrap around the world, I think. So if you guys get a bad strap, bring it in, give it to George. He'll exchange it out for a good strap. So inspect your securement devices, guys. So there it is. On a 4-inch strap, anything larger than 3/4 of an inch. On your guys' 2-inch straps, 3/8 of an inch. Webbing straps must sharp. So on sharp objects, anything that's going to cut it or tear it or be abrasive to it, you got to put something down. All these things affect your guys' straps. So heat, acid, punctures, snags, abrasions. I don't know what a tensile break is, but cuts, cut faces, missing or illegible tabs, bent, twist on your chains, bent, twisted, stretched, worn, heat damaged, or nicked. I don't know what it is.
I think that's a separate.
Your working load limit. So guys, on our straps, we buy different kinds. Where do we get them all?
We get them all from utility and I don't know the other.
Okay. So if it's not, if the ink's not impregnated into the strap where it says like 5400 working load limit, and it's just your little white tag that blows in the wind and fades, if that little tag blows away and goes bye-bye, guess what your working load limit is?
0.
No, it's 4,000. So on a 4-inch strap, it's 4,000. 3-inch strap, 3,000. 2-inch strap, 2,000, and so forth. So make sure you always take care of those, because if you needed 4,000 to secure half of what you were trying to do, or over 4,000, and you're missing your tag and it's not impregnated in ink in there, they can put you out for that.
When
Yes,
they say
Chief.
tensile break, I believe that's like right in the middle of the straps when you start seeing it fray out. That's like the smaller tensile start to break out.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that's the tensile break.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be whenever anything is fully stretched. If it is starting to break because it's fully stretched, that means its tensile strength has been compromised. It's no good no more, and it'll show because it'll be frayed.
Where do you want us to put bad straps in right here?
The what?
Where do you want
the bad straps? If you put them all by the door of the Connex, we cut the hooks off of them and they're out of service. So any bad strap that comes near us, we take the hook off of it so it doesn't go back into service, so you guys don't wind up using it anywhere else. If you're on the road and it's no good, get rid of it,
Find a
because all that happens if you bring it back and you put it on the table, so it's going to continue in service. Someone else is going to use it. We're trying to get them out, but we use combined all the vehicles in service are using about 2,500 straps at any given time. So that's about 2,500. You know, that's a lot to keep track of. We waste about 40 to 80 a week, about average, and it's good. So if they do come out, we will cut them off, cut the hooks off.
Chris.
This cut like this isn't a 1/4 inch. That's like if it's over a 1/4 inch. That's out of service.
If it's a 1/2 inch on one side and a 1/4 inch of the other, it's got to be over a 3/4 inch combined on either side, or a 3/4 inch cut on one
You
side.
can take a brand new strap and cut it almost to 3/4 of an inch, and it's still okay.
What's in the middle?
What I say, 1/4 inch?
Yeah.
What's 3/4?
Yes, sir.
Middle.
Middle is the tensile. Okay, operating your winch. So a lot of people do some different stuff, and we're going to get down to it. Additional wraps of webbing can cause damage to the winch and mandrel if excess tension is applied to the winch. Excessive wraps can also make it difficult to apply or release tension. When tensioning or releasing your winch, ensure you are properly positioned and your feet are solidly on the ground. Make sure you stand to one side of the bar in case it slips, maintaining a firm grip with both hands.
Like this.
Or you look like this fella.
Don't lose that. Not lost my tooth. Hey! That's next
Alright, so the winch bar should be through both holes in the winch end. Using only one hole can damage the winch bar, the winch or the bar. So, and they want you to always pull down. See how the correct way is? Never use a cheater bar. And then this guy's going to talk about my favorite thing.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Safety Saturday. My name is Bert. I'm a trainer with Sierra's Steve, Flatbed Solutions. Today I want to touch base with you real quick on the proper way to hook up a 4-inch synthetic web or a strap to a flatbed trailer. We're also going to look at a couple of different ways drivers hook these up that are incorrect, just to make sure that you understand why and what the issue with those are. First, sometimes drivers are going to take this 4-inch strap and they're going to bring it outside the rub rail and attach it underneath the trailer. The next way you'll see it is drivers will take that strap, they'll turn it upside down, bring that hook back underneath the rub rail, and again, attach it with the hook on the outside. We also see some drivers that will bring this outside of the rub rail, bring it back through the rub rail, and tighten it down. One of the other options we see that is incorrect is taking this strap, and we'll have it run all the way down around this rub rail, and back into it, and tighten it down. Now all of these are actually incorrect, and the reason being is because this rub rail is designed to be in an accident. In the event your trailer is struck by something from the side, it is designed to hit the rub rail and protect the tie downs from being damaged. The problem with all 4 of these is you can see there's at least one part of this tie down that is outboard or outside of the rub rail. So, in the event you have an accident, you have a greater risk of damaging these tie downs and having your cargo come loose. The proper way to connect these flat hooks is take that flat hook, drop it straight down between the side rail and the rub rail of the trailer, and attach it to the lip on the bottom of the side rail. Okay? The other thing to remember is that most of these rub rails are not rated for security. Some of them are, but you're only supposed to use that rub rail if there is no other possible way to tighten your load. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you have any suggestions or any comments, please.
Chris.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I read in the law that on the first one, you know how I went over and under hooks, that like only if like basically if that's needed. So say you got all you know you got your article, you know, to your legal limit, not going over the rub rail, but it's like you can't put
But yeah, it used to be illegal to put them over there, but it's not illegal anymore. You can't put it over that, but it's not the best way to do it.
No. I had to do that, go over the rub rail, but the rings on the back of the trailer, because you can't move that wrench. You can't go through the square.
Yeah. The back winch, you got to go outside the rub rail because it's going right through a stake pocket.
Right.
So, did your question get answered, Chris? So, hey, look at here. You got this trailer. It's strapped down. It's got a tarp over it. Is it secure?
Nope. No.
No? Oh! Never mind.
So there we go. So hey, so what can we do in front of this before we tarp it?
Blankets.
No, what can we do? Build your dunnage up. Put your dunnage up there, chain it down. Now that can't slide forward, right? Now it's not going to tear up the tarp. I mean, we want to keep Jeremiah employed, but good hell, he's weeks behind on tarps. So let's not do this, guys. This is really bad. This right here, I don't know who brought this in, but if you guys know who brought it in, friggin' kudos, man. That is impressive. Tear strap, they did it right. Freaking did it right. Look at this. Load of rebar, all chains. I'm super impressed with whoever did this.
Okay. Me and
Justin Washington.
yes, I think that's
Yeah. Super impressed.
Get the shots on it.
Look at that. Everything has a teardrop to it. Fantastic. I mean, super. This right here, not so much impressed. Why is that? Yeah.
Wait, what? What's wrong with it?
Those chains
Pressing the edges from coming forward.
yeah, those chains you wrap around underneath.
Yes. Okay. I get it now.
Oh, yeah.
I
Come
wasn't
back.
paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you look down, he used all chains, which I think is wonderful. But here's the back stack.
There you go.
We've got another stack of this crap out there too. What's wrong with this picture?
Oh, one on the
No straps, no straps.
It's not feet over.
So he went single straps over the middle ones. Is that right?
No.
Our policy is 2 straps, right?
It is.
So on the front he has 2 over the top and the J-hook chain pulling back. How much of an angle should we be pulling back? 45 or less, right? Here's a good example. 2 straps over each one.
Was that the trailer you were missing?
33.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
Close.
I know where 33 is.
It's on the stack.
All right. So here's the top competitors in the safety contest, but it's still fresh and new. So I put that up there. I went down to number 40.
I'm number 6, eh?
Anybody's catchable. It's anybody's game still.
They already fired me.
I already told you I'm gonna win. So don't even, you guys don't even.
Okay. So, hey.
Yeah, that's an Eli.
Right there.
So listen, guys. We appreciate all you guys do. I know sometimes I get real passionate about this and I get fired up. And if it offends you, I apologize. But every day I fight for your jobs to stay intact here, and I fight for Stephen and David to keep their company. That's my only job, is to make
John
sure.
actually did argue with him about trying to get it to where people could PC back here from CMC instead of trying to make them stop at the truck stop. Like if they're coming back here to take your 34. How much sense does that make that you got to stop at the truck stop or at the casino when you're coming here to go home?
If you guys are ever, I'll put this out there, and it won't work 100% of the time, but I'll put it out to you. I live out in Gilbert, and if you guys are ever stuck or have an emergency where you got to get back and you're out of hours, you got to get back to here, call me. I'll come out, give you my car, you can drive my car here, and I'll drive the truck back.
What's going on with you guys on the list?
So, when I call you, I don't call you John.
Huh?
I don't call you John no more.
What time of the day is that cutoff?
That time of the day. So listen, this is the other thing. I get up at 3:30 in the morning.
So if I call you at 1:30,
If you call me at 1:30, you're probably going to get angry, John.
Why you get
So-
up at 8:30?
Huh?
8:30?
Yeah.
what do you guys work out?
I go to the gym for an hour and a half.
Go to the gym?
You do?
I'm trying to look like Chris, but it's not working. I spend too much time at the gym table. This muscle is really
I'm gonna
good.
say, what gym you going to now?
What gym he go? I want to go to his
All right, hey, so really quick. In the spirit of Easter, that's why I did the different colors. But thank you guys for everything you do. We understand your job.
Thank you.
I think most of us have done it, and we appreciate you. Have a safe and happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everyone!